We are back in the years 1980 and 1981, continuing our look at the Empire Strikes Back toy line by Kenner. Last time, we took a look at the 900-year-old Jedi Master, Yoda, who lives as a hermit on the planet of Dagobah. This time, we're going back to the ice planet of Hoth as we take a look at two toys. That's right, it's a double toy review, as we check out Luke Skywalker and Hoth Battle Gear and his faithful Tauntaun, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're taking a look at Luke Skywalker and Hoth Battle Gear and the Tauntaun from the Empire Strikes Back toy line by Kenner. And we're not going to waste any time, we're going to jump right in with Luke Skywalker. After destroying the Death Star, Luke was promoted to commander and given his own squadron, known as Rogue Squadron. He and the rebels fled to the planet of Hoth and set up a new hidden base after the Empire discovered their last base on Yavin 4. His new outfit is less battle gear and more survival gear, as the remote planet of Hoth is a freezing wasteland, a huge contrast to the hot deserts of Tatooine where Luke grew up. And now that we know a bit more about this version of Luke Skywalker, let's take a closer look. Hoth Luke, as many call this version, was my very first Luke Skywalker action figure. Don't get me wrong, we had other Luke Skywalkers in the house. We had Farm Boy Luke and X-Wing Fighter Luke, for example. But this one was purchased for me. The others were my brother's. This is a pretty great figure with some nice details, like his electro binoculars right there around his neck. He used those to scan for signs of life as he patrolled the area around Echo Base. He also has a belt here with gear on it, or maybe he has gear. As we get closer, you can see that the holster is empty. There's no gun there, and he actually does not have his lightsaber anywhere on the belt. And that would be fine if he came with a lightsaber he could hold, but he has neither. And that's strange because he definitely wields his lightsaber in this outfit in the movie. My other minor complaint is his scarf right here that's molded. I never cared for that as a kid because it restricted his head movement, even though it looks pretty cool. As we come down to the legs, you can see the same quilting pattern that was up on his jacket, and there's actually quite a bit of detail in the boots as well. On the back side of the figure, you can see a nice pattern in the brown vest, and I also want to point out that this is when Luke starts to transition from wearing all white to brown. Now we're going to take a look at Luke's articulation. So his leg can go up 90 degrees in the front, and the back can go back some, but just a little bit. His shoulders can go up and around full 360 if you wanted them to. His head can turn right and left, and that's it. That covers all 5 points of articulation for Hoth Luke. Here's Luke's included accessory. It is a blaster rifle with some pretty decent detailing in it. I like the scope there. This is a pretty weird weapon to include with Luke, even though I like it. I still don't understand why he didn't get his lightsaber. As you can see, it does look the same on both sides, and the strap is actually curved, and that is so you can put it over his shoulder. It's a pretty good thing they included that feature because Luke's hand is actually too small to hold his weapon. The handle is much bigger than the opening in his hand, and while I feel like I could shove it in there, I don't want to risk breaking his thumb. But the alternative is just to put it over his shoulder like that, which I'm pretty sure is what they intended. The way the strap is molded and the shape of the gun, it actually fits there perfectly, and it looks really good, but I still wish he had his lightsaber. The copyright information for Luke is located on the back of his legs. Lucasfilm Limited, 1980, made in Hong Kong. Alright, now we're moving right along with the Tauntaun. Tauntauns are a species of lizard native to the planet of Hoth. That's right, I said lizard. They have a tough, scaly skin beneath their heavy layers of fur and secrete a thick, pungent oil to attract mates. Their strong hind legs and claws allow them to handle icy surfaces with ease, and they are well acclimated to daytime temperatures of Hoth. When night falls, Tauntauns typically burrow into snowdrifts to stay warm. Tauntauns were domesticated by members of the Rebel Alliance and used to explore the area surrounding the new Rebel base. And now that we know a bit more about Tauntauns, let's take a closer look. So right away you'll notice some amazing details on the Tauntaun's head, like the horns and these cool yellow eyes. He also has a very nice fur pattern that goes throughout the entire figure. Down here on his front arms, they're very short like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he's got some pretty nice claws right there. Also, giving him the white fur belly is a nice touch. Tauntauns have these really powerful rear legs with giant claws on them, as you can see, and that's how they traverse the icy wasteland of Hoth. Here on the back side of the figure, you can see the tail, and if you notice, there's a little bit of damage there. It actually got chewed by a dog. There's also bite marks on the front arm and on the foot here. And I have no idea how that happened because all our dogs growing up were outside dogs. So all I can think is I left this outside one night playing with it and one of the dogs chewed on it. Now we're going to check out the saddle included with the Tauntaun. As you can see, it's got a faux leg right there. And there's a reason for that. It's because you actually put the action figure down inside of it via this trapdoor. It gives the illusion the figure's riding it, even though they don't have bendable legs. So that's why that's there. Also, there's some nice detailing with pouches and a bedroll there. And of course, on the other side is the other leg. Right here you have a saddle horn, and as you can see, the entire saddle is made out of really soft rubber. The saddle's held on by the buckle at the bottom, and mine actually split on the first little spot there, but I just threaded it through the second hole and it holds just fine. Now we're going to go ahead and put Luke in the saddle. So all you do is take the legs and push them down in the trapdoor, and voila. He looks exactly like he's riding it now via these faux legs. This feature really impressed me as a kid. Now it's time to take a look at the articulation on the Tauntaun. His hind legs can go full 360, so you can put him in full splits or running poses very easily. His front arms also go up and around full 360 if you want. His tail has no articulation whatsoever, sadly. And that's it. That covers all 4 points of articulation on the Tauntaun. While I couldn't find a copyright date printed anywhere on his body, on the bottom of his foot it does say that he was made in Hong Kong. I am missing one piece of equipment for the Tauntaun, and that would be the bit and reins. And you can see it right there in his mouth. It's what Han's holding on to. Sadly, I lost it years ago, and I've never gotten around to replacing it. And now for our He-Man size comparison. Luke is pretty small compared to He-Man, but the Tauntaun is actually pretty big. And He-Man definitely approves of weird animals for mounts. After all, just look at all the crazy things they ride on Eternia. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for Luke Skywalker and Hoth Battle Gear and the Tauntaun from the 1980 and 1981 Empire Strikes Back toy line by Kenner. The Tauntaun was released in 1980 with the movie, but Luke didn't come out until 1981. And that's because Bespin Luke came out first. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy or toys from my vintage collection every Wednesday. So hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.